Kal Kadosh Boker Or Mesechet Megillah Bet Amud Bet. We are on the 3 lines from the bottom. Yeah, Ve'amar Rabbi Yirmiyah Ve'itema Rabbi Chia Bar Abba. Says Rabbi Yirmiyah, and some people say it's Rabbi Chia Bar Abba. Okay, Mansepach Mem Nun Sadi Pei Chaf Mansepach Sofim Amrum. Yeah, the Tzofim, the Nevi'im were the ones that they said it. So says the Gemara, V'tizbera, is it logical to say that it's going to be the Tzofim, the Nevi'im? V'aktiv, it's written in the Pasuk, Ele mitzvot. What does that mean, Ele mitzvot? The actual Pasuk, if you look on the left side, is Ele mitzvot asher tziva Hashem b'nei Sinai. These are the mitzvot. So start quote and end quote. Ele mitzvot, that's the entire quote that we have in the Gemara. Which means, and this the Gemara is going to make a drasha, she'en navi rashai lehadesh tavar me'ata. Nobody's allowed to be mechadesh something. What does that mean? How could you tell me that the tzofim were the ones that came and did, right, and said the mansepach? It doesn't make sense, right? Why? The Nevi'im are not allowed to add anything. It says, Ele mitzvot. These are the mitzvot, so pasuk. That's it. I'm going to start saying, no, I'm going to add extra mitzvot. Next, ve'od, and furthermore, ha'amar Rav Chasta, says Rav Chasta, mem ve'samech shebaluchot, the letter mem and samech in the luchot. So obviously we're talking about the mem sofit, yeah, and the samech in the luchot, okay? Banes Hayomdin, they were by miracle standing in the middle of the luchot. Now, why? Because if you remember, we said that the luchot was squared, okay, and it went straight through. So you were able to read it on both sides. Now, if you're going to come and you're going to read it on both sides and it goes straight through, so now I have a question. Yeah, when I come and I have this square, yeah, I've got this square over here, and now I'm going to make a letter. So if I'm going to make a letter, let's say it's a regular mem or a kaf, so then it's easy. Why? Because I come and make a kaf, but it's still attached. But if I make a mem sofit, right, or right, which the mem sofit is a square, so now I have to engrave inside. Now, if I have to engrave inside, so the little tiny piece of in the middle of the mem sofit, how does it stand? It's standing on thin air, right? Because it's over here. It should fall or get. How's it there? So the mem sofit or the samech is banesa yomdim. So now, if you're going to tell me now banesa yomdim, obviously we were talking about a mem sofit. Now mem sofit. So what are you telling me now that the mansepach was said by the Nevi'im? The mem sofit was already in the luchot. So answers the Gemara in yes, you're correct. No, you're right. We always did have the mansepach. Don't tell me that we didn't have. We had it, but lo avu yadeh, we didn't know hebe'emsa teva vehebesof teva. Which ones were in the middle and which ones were at the end. The two tzofim, so comes the tzofim, which again, the tzofim are the ones, tzofim comes from the Nevi'im because they are the ones that are tzofim b'ruach HaKodesh. They look forth, right? They look forward, right? Like Mount Scopus. Hara tzofim is to look far out. So the same thing, the Nevi'im, they look, right? And far out. So it says here, Va'atu tzofim comes the Nevi'im, and they tiknu, right? They were the ones that instituted, petuchin are going to be in the middle of the word. Yeah, and the stumin, yeah, are going to be besof teva at the end of the word. So the Gemara says same thing. Sof sof ele mitzvot she'en navi atid lechadesh davar me'ata. Meaning like this: if you're going to tell me that we always had the ptuchot and stumot, which means we always had the regular mem and the mem sofit, the regular kaf sofit, the regular, right, all the letters nun sofit, right? Sadit. So what does it mean now that the Nevi'im were the ones that were mechadesh, where to put it? right? You can't do that, right? It just doesn't work, right? So therefore, obviously, there's a problem here. So he says, you're right. Ella, but rather, shachum, yeah, rather bemet, right? They forgot which ones were there. Vechazru v'yisnum, and they were the ones that put it back to its original place. Meaning, the Nevi'im did not do anything new. They just revealed to us that which was forgotten from us. So that they're allowed to do. It wasn't that they were mechadesh tavar me'ata. They weren't mechadesh anything. They were just reminding us, by the way, this is what we have to do. Okay? And the second one that it's totally forgotten, right? Yeah, but the other way around, doctor. We started with the Havamina. We started with that Ki'ilu, that it didn't exist, and they were the ones that brought them. Yes. So we went and we said it doesn't exist. Why? Because number one, the Nevi'im cannot make a new halacha, and number two, the Nes of the Luchot. So obviously the Nes of the Luchot, you knew that they were already there. So then they said, you're right, you're right. Obviously they couldn't, so we have to retract. It wasn't that we knew that they existed. Everybody knows, okay, fine. So then what was the problem then? The problem was which order. Now, there was, I don't remember where I saw it, but I did say, and I don't remember now where, but there is a pasuk, right, where it's at the beginning of the word, meaning it's not at the end of the word, and it's still going to have like a sofit. I don't remember now exactly where it is. I told it to you guys. No, I don't remember now where it was, but I do remember that we spoke about it. Yeah. So, right, there does exist such a concept. So now here, what we're trying to say is no. Which one's in the middle? Which one's at the end? So again, we asked the same question. They cannot tell us that because they cannot be mechadesh something. So he said, you're right. They were not mechadesh nothing. It was just, they were reminding us. And again, it's a reminder. Why a reminder? Because really, for sure, we already had the Samach Sofit, the not Samach Sofit, the Tzadi Sofit, and the Mem Sofit, and the Nun Sofit, and the Mantepach. We had it for sure. The only thing is, they forgot. They forgot where that. So now you have it. Okay. We're by the dot. Yeah. What? The next part. Again, as the doctor said beautifully, we're continuing with all the Rav Yirmiyahs, and some people say Rav Chia Bar Abbas, because that's how we started beforehand. So the next one, the Amar Rav Yirmiyah v'item Rav Chia Bar Abba, says Rav Yirmiyah, and some people say Rav Chia Bar Abba. Lemarbe, the mem is a mem sagur. It's a closed mem, like mem sofit. Exactly, that's what it was. Lemarbe. Yeshaya. What perek? What is the word? Lemarbe. The mem. But what perek and pasuk? 9:6. 9:6. Very nice. Okay. Well, there's a special reason there. You have to look there. Says Rabbi Yirmiyah, and some people say Rochia Barabba. Targum shel Torah. We're talking about right now the Targum of Torah. Unkelos ager amaro. We know that if you open up, we got Targum Unkelos. So Targum Unkelos was from Unkelos ager. He was a ger. He said it from the name of, right, Rabbi Eliezer of Rabbi Yoshua. Okay? So, remember, what we have until today, by the way, you open up a Chumash, you have Targum Unkelos. Right? The Targum Unkelos, so if you want to do Shnai Mikra ve'echad Yomi, right, Shnai Mikra ve'echad Targum, so the echad Targum is the Targum Unkelos. So that was written by Unkelos again, and he said it from Rabbi Eliezer of Rabbi Yoshua. Okay? Now you have the next one, Targum Shel Nevi'im. Meaning, you open up a Nevi'im, you will find the Targum of Nevi'im was written by Yonatam Nuziel. So the truth is, nowadays, if you look at the Amaor, right behind you, you will have Yonatam Nuziel even on the Chumash, right? And many times you'll have even Talmud Yerushalmi also. You'll have different ones. And on the Nach, right, you will have different Targums as well. But here, the Targum Shel Nevi'im, what we have is Yonatam Nuziel Amro, right? It's again Yonatam Nuziel Mipi. Who did he say it from? He learned it from Chagai Zechariah Umalachi. Now, what happened was when it was the Targum of Nevi'im, Nizda'azea Eretz Yisrael 400 parsa al 400 parsa. So there was a zi'azua of Adama, which means nowadays they call it in modern Hebrew Reidat Adama, which means that there was an earthquake 400 parsa al 400 parsa. Yatzta bat kol ve'amra, so came out a bat kol and said, Mi hu zeh, who is this? Shegila, that revealed, Sitarai, my secrets, Libnei Adam, to the human beings. Amad Yonatan ben Uziel al Raglav, stood up Yonatan ben Uziel al Raglav, ve'amar, and he said, Ani hu shegiliti sitarecha livnei Adam. I was the one that revealed your secrets to the people. Kalui ve'yadu'a lefanecha. It is revealed and known in front of you. Shelo lichvodi asiti. That I didn't do it for my honor. Velo lichved bet abba, not for the honor of my parents, of my father's house. Ela lichvodcha asiti. But I did it for you. Shelo yirbu machloket b'Yisrael. In order that there shouldn't be machloket b'Yisrael. Meaning, once you have, right, a targum, which the targum is going to explain to you the pesukim, so now you're not going to have so many machlokot. Why? You have the targum. Gamarnu, that's it. Okay? So now, this was of Nevi'im. ועוד ביקש לגלות תרגום של כתובים. He wanted to give the targum of ketubim. Now, if you actually open up ketubim nowadays, there's also targum, right? But here it says that when he wanted to write the targum of ketubim, yatzta bat kol, it came out a heavenly voice, ve'amralo, and told him, dayecha. You know what dayecha is? Dayenu, dayecha. Right? What does that mean? Right? Must speak, right? Sasufi, baraka adkan. Yeah, that's it. So why? My tama, what's the reason? Mishum deit beketz Mashiach, right? Because, yeah, it's got ketz Mashiach. Meaning, in Daniel, it's got ketz Mashiach. And therefore, if it's got ketz Mashiach and you're going to come and you're going to start writing all these different things, you're going to start revealing when is Mashiach. So he said, that's it. Stop here. Okay? Fine. The Targum shel Torah unkolos ager amaro. Says the Gemara, what? Targum shel Torah was written by who? By Unkelus? Veha, but Amar Rav Ika bar Avin, said Rav Ika the son of Avin, Amar Rav Chananel in the name of Rav Chananel, Amar Rav in the name of Rav. My dichtiv, what does it mean in the pasuk? Vayikreu besefer Torat Elokim, mefurash veshum sechel, v'yavinu mamikra, right? Which means this is the pasuk, right? Take the pasuk again. Always look in the Torah or. The Torah or actually gave us a bracha. The reason why he gave us a bracha is you actually look up the pasuk. So you look at the bet, and the bet says Vayikru b'Torah Torah Elokim mefurash veshum sechel v'yavinu mamikra. End pasuk. Right? So you start the quotation marks and you finish. The quotation mark starts by Vayikru, that's why there's a bet there, and it finishes right by Vayavinu mamikra. Now the Gemara is going to decipher the pasuk. So Vayikreu besefer Torah Elokim, they're going to read in the Sefer Torah Elokim. Ze mikra. That's the Chumash. That's the Torah. Mefurash. Right? That's the next word. The next word was mefurash. Ze targum. Veshum sechel. Elu hapsukim. These are the psukim. V'yavinu b'mikra. You're going to understand the psukim. These are the piskei ta'amim. These are the ta'amim, or what the Ashkenazim call the trop. Right? The cantillations, the songs. So, right? Ve'amnila. And some people say that it wasn't the cantillations, it was the masorot. Right? Again, there's a masorot that you have a masorot that this letter is big, the other letter is small, this one's missing a letter, written full letter, so on and so forth. So therefore, if right now it's already written that they're going to read in Torah Elokim, and therefore what's going to happen, right? So 1 second. This is already in Sefer Ezra. That means they already had the Targum. So how are you going to tell me now that Unkelos Ager wrote the Targum from Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Yoshua? It came from way beforehand, right? This is way before. What's going on? So answers the Gemara the same answer as it always answers. Shachum v'chazuv yistum. You're right. They forgot it, and he came and he brought it back, meaning he was able to bring back the concept of the Targum Unkulos, and therefore it was attributed to him. Okay, fine. So says the Gemara, right? No, okay, fine. Shachum v'chazuv yistum. Nekuda. Dot. Right, we're going to stop here because we did a lot. Even though it's a gadta, it's all easy. It's like all you understand. It's all stories. It's not really it's not the difficulty. But we're going to stop here because the Gemara is going to continue afterwards by asking what's the difference between the Doraita and the Nevi'im. Why is it that the Doraita it wasn't a earthquake and the Nevi'im it was? Obviously, we're going to have to speak about that. And again, right. So just to sum up, right, the Bli Neder, obviously we're going to be off for the next few days. Right? So this is going to be for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat. I already gave you homework starting from Sunday. So already in the chats, you already had to start putting from Sunday check marks. I did the Mishnah. The next day, I did the Gemara, right? Until which line? The next day, I did the Gemara until the second white line until the bottom of the page. You know why? Because if you're not going to be doing Chazarot, bracha levatala, what we're doing here. Yeah. Now, again, I can't be a policeman, right? But if I need to, I will, right? Which means that I'm going to start asking who did the Mishnah, who did the thing, and I want the thumbs up, right? And we have to start doing it. Why? Because bad bivad, at the same time that we're going ahead, we have to be doing Chazarot. I could do Chazarot as well, and I will be doing Chazarot, but it's not enough. You guys have to do the Chazarot on your own, because if not, it's impossible to pay attention. If you're not writing down, it's impossible to have a Kinyan in the Masechet. If you're not going, 100% is more serious. But, doctor, as we said, everyone has to get their own Gemara, write it in, take pencils, you're writing it in. If you're not writing it in, bracha levatala. Don't ever expect to learn the Masechet.
How did you know? It says